Donnelly is with Alan Ruff and myself, Peter Martin, on the show tonight. We've got some great games to talk about. Also interact with you. You can at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter on PLZ Soccer, and also on Facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. So give us your thoughts on the games. Of course, Manchester City in the Champions League. I tipped them to win the Champions League. It's teetering on the edge of the cliff for me now, Ruffy. Your team's out, and it looks as if my team's going out tonight against Liverpool.
No, it was a poor performance from Man City in the first game, but they're at home now. They certainly have quality players that can do a bit of damage. I think the biggest question is, can they not concede? Because I think if Liverpool just score one goal, that'll be all over. But I think we're in for an interesting game. I personally would like Man City to score early on just to make it a wee bit exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you text me at some point?
Yeah, definitely tonight. I nearly texted you last week, but I'd sort of held back because these things sometimes can turn on their head. So I'll wait until the definite happens.
Yeah, okay. I think Man City are going out, but listen, Pep Guardiola has said it's going to be a special performance from his side if they're to get through. But he said, listen, don't rule it out because I have a very special team.
He does have a special team. He's got special players there, and I agree with him, to be positive and to get into the game. But as you say, they need a special performance tonight. I just feel with the players that Liverpool have got and the way that they can attack with that pace, I think they'll score tonight. So that means Man City need to get 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert Bruce has said to us, Liverpool will get the draw and they'll go through, boom, straight into the semi-finals alongside Barcelona or Roma.
Barcelona for me, that's my tip from the start, and I think my team will be the only team that will be in the semi-final out of the three of us. I expect them. They're winning 4-1 from the first leg. I think the Suarez goal killed Roma.
Yeah, is it fair to say, Ruffy, that over the Facebook Lives, it's touch and go now about who's the most irritating, Barry or Simon? My team's the only team to go through any semi-finals. Is that fair?
I mean, not only gets the predictions right, he gets the quiz questions right as well, more than Barry. So yeah, you might be right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Barcelona to go through. Interestingly enough, tomorrow night, is there anybody going to watch Real Madrid Juventus just for the glory of seeing them absolutely annihilate them in their own patch?
I think it will just be for the glory. I think last week's tie, I really enjoyed the first game in Turin. I thought Madrid, their form in the Champions League's been unbelievable. It's surprising how far off the pace they are in La Liga. They've really brought their top form to the Champions League, and they battered Juve the other week. Ronaldo with an overhead kick, fantastic performance, enough to get them through. But I'd expect them to win again.
Bayern Munich to beat Seville.
Bayern Munich will beat Seville. Yeah, I think they take a narrow lead from the first leg. Yeah. I think they've done the damage there as well. I think they'll win comfortably.
Yeah, okay, there you are. The man's on form. He's forthright in his opinion now, Ruffy. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I do. I think Bayern will be too strong at home. Big players there, obviously Lewandowski, Müller. They've got all the big hitters, and at home they're very, very impressive. So I think they'll run out quite easy winners.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, and far be it from me to test your knowledge, but you mentioned Lewandowski and Müller. Do you know any other Bayern Munich players?
Ribery, Robben.
Okay, we'll settle for that at the moment. So Bayern Munich, and also going through Barcelona and Liverpool, and let's not forget Real Madrid. You can agree or disagree. Give us your thoughts at PLZ Soccer on Twitter, Facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. I have to say, we talk now about a rather sad situation today. Sadly, former Partick Thistle boss John Lambie has died at the age of 77. He had a career playing for Falkirk over 200 times, 153 times I think he played for St Johnstone, scoring 5 goals for them. He was a full-back. He reached the League Cup final with St Johnstone. They narrowly lost out to Celtic in 1969. But I think leading Hamilton Accies to the old First Division title, and Thistle, 3 stints there with 2 First Division titles in the bag, and taking them to the Premier League. I think the Jags fans remember him with great fondness. Yeah,
he's a legend there, Peter. I think Mr. Partick Thistle, I think I just missed out on his time there when I joined, and the stories round about the place. He was well loved, well respected, and it's a big loss to Partick. I hope do a really good tribute that will be apt to John. But he's legendary there, you know, and what he achieved in the game. And as I say, it's a sad loss.
Yeah, I remember, listen, we could tell stories, but unfortunately we'd be off air within about 10 seconds, Ruffy, if we started to tell some of the great tales of memories with John Lambie. But the one thing that sticks in my head, when I think of John Lambie, I also think of Chick Charnley, because we've had Chick on the programme on numerous occasions, and he mentions with great fondness the fact that he just kept on signing him wherever he went.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 players like that. You know, I don't mean a lost cause in the way of a lifestyle, but I mean in a footballing style. Players who couldn't really tie themselves down to any one club, but he had the knack of getting the best out of them. And I think if you listen to the interviews with Chick, it was a sort of father and son relationship. You know, they thought so much about each other. And that was the case as well with a lot of the players as well. He was an old school manager. You know, when you come in, you know, he let you know if things weren't going well, but if things were going well, he put the arm around you, and he had a sort of a camaraderie that you don't get often just now. I don't see it anyway. Obviously, there's a lot more foreigners in the game now, but I think there was a bond in there between the players, and that's why he got all the success that he did.
Yeah, I think the other great thing about him, we always think about the big cigar, which was the absolute Stonewall certainty, and also pigeons. He loved his pigeons, Ruffy, didn't he? I mean, honestly, I think he actually managed to work football around his pigeons.
Yeah, he certainly did. And you know, as I said, he liked his wee bottle of malt whisky. I think everybody knew that, and they used to get gifts every day. You know, supporters would be handing them in. So he had a full drawer full of them, and he loved it. But yeah, we could tell lots of stories about him. But he came from a working class environment, and I think that's what everybody responded to.
Yeah, absolutely. As a young reporter, I certainly wasn't offered any whisky from the bottom drawer. Although I can tell you, he's the only man I know that in an interview just could seamlessly tell you what he thought of the game coming up while adding about 15 expletives in it that you had to delete out and edit out of the eventual answer. But he was a football man, knew his football, colourful character as well, and he will be greatly missed in football. The world mourns the loss of John Lambie, died today, aged 77. So that's a Partick Thistle legend gone. As far as this week coming up, we've got the Scottish Cup semi-finals. Really looking forward to them. Gordon Strachan and Ali McCoist have been speaking today in Glasgow. McCoist saying he's maybe questioning Dave King's statement, yesterday, which was released, just not really in any way giving any great confidence to Graham Murty getting the job full time, but said the next manager of Rangers has to have immediate success.
Well, I agree with that statement. You know, I think the next manager, whoever it is, if it's Murty or somebody else, you know, they do need that. You know, the Celtic are just going from strength to strength, winning everything at the time. So yeah, they have to come in and hit the ground running, whoever that is. I think the timing of the statement's not ideal for Graham Murty. Under a lot of pressure after the last game against Celtic, particularly the way the second half panned out and his tactics, I don't think he would need this hassle and pressure in the lead up to the biggest game of the season for Rangers.
Yeah, do they win it?
No, I don't see them winning it. I think Celtic, every time they've been asked this season, whether it was up at Pittodrie, even the last game at Ibrox, I think they've answered anything that's been put at their door, and I think they'll do it again quite comfortably.
Yeah, and should there be, I mean, this is a semi-final which has got silverware on offer. The implications for both managers huge. Brendan Rodgers going for a treble. Now we've got Gordon Strachan and Ali McCoy saying, well, you know, if the police are saying that there shouldn't be a showdown between Celtic and Rangers, which ultimately would deliver 7 titles in a row for Celtic, you know, they want to avoid that in the league. What's the difference between the league and the cup?
There's no difference for me. I think it's just a sad indictment on our society, you know, particularly in the west of Scotland, that, you know, we're considering moving games because of the few idiots that tarnish it. I think it's a showcase. We look at the Manchester derby at the weekend. It was a fantastic spectacle. Man U have got the rights over Man City, or the bragging rights, for a week. All but Man City are going to win the league, but they made sure they didn't do it over their own rivals. I think Rangers would want to do that with Celtic. Celtic would obviously want to achieve it, you know, against their rivals. I think it's a showcase for our game, and I think the safety of the public's paramount, but that's up to the police, you know, to deal with the idiots. I think the game should have went ahead, you know, and gave the chance for Celtic to go and win it, and gave the chance for Rangers to stop it, you know, against their rivals.
Yeah, I'm with you in this 100%, Simon. I agree with him. If you go to a concert and you misbehave, you get involved in any kind of a misdemeanour that involves breaking the law, you suffer the consequences. Why should we bow to basically thugs, hooligans, people, morons who use football as a platform to peddle their bile and break the laws.
Yeah, and I agree with what both of you are saying here, but I mean, that concert,
You want to bow to them, yeah?
no, that concert you're at, that you're saying if there's any trouble, there's just going to be trouble at that concert. There's not going to be trouble up in Arbroath or Brechin or Dunfermline or wherever, where the supporters that don't go to the game are going to be watching these games in pubs all throughout Scotland, and that's where all the hassle kicks in. That's where
That's the same. But that's the same with any major event. If people are not at it, if they are out with the game, Ruffy, and you go to a situation where you go to a house party and you misbehave, if you then go out onto the streets and create havoc, you're still breaking the law. You've still got to deal with it.
Yeah, I know that, but what you then try to do is you try to curtail the damage. And that's all the police are trying to do. They're moving the times to 3 to 12 and days and all that kind of thing. I agree with you 100%. If you could sit here and say, right, if Celtic won 3-0, there wouldn't be any trouble, then great, fantastic. I just hear terrible stories about, the hospitals. And I know you're going to say that, but if hospitals, I've seen, firsthand, hospitals on a Saturday night or a Sunday night after these kind of games, and the abuse that the nurses and the doctors take, all you're trying to do is curtail that by, making the situation easy for these idiots, to express and spoil our game of football.
Yeah, listen, I take that part of it. I know we want to minimise the risk to people, and there are increased statistics on domestic abuse as well, I have to say, but I don't think it should have an impact. I do think we should try and take measures to try and minimise by making an early kick-off so that it's difficult to get a drink. But I don't think we can start to, let it curtail the promotion of our game as a gala occasion, as the ultimate game between Celtic and Rangers that will go round the world and give people a chance to invest back in our game.
See, I know it's not Rangers Celtic. Do we want to go down the road of the Hibs carry on with horses on the park and supporters punching lumps at each other after a game?
Well, are we going to start curtailing Hibs and Rangers games now?
No, I'm just saying that.
No, but I have to ask you that. Are we going to start curtailing Hibs and Rangers games?
What we have to do is we have to modify it and limit the damage, and that's what these people are trying to do, and that's why we're waiting to see when the police think that this will be a damage limitation.
Yeah, should we get to a situation where we start to avoid, Hibs and Rangers getting to a league title decider because of what happened in the cup final?
No, what I'm saying is we have to look at that situation, and what would we rather have people talking about? Everybody squaring up to everybody on a football park are talking about a great 3H game.
Yeah,
and it's the football we want to be talking about.
I think what we've got to do is take a sensible head on this and just basically get a message across that there is going to be, if you're arrested at a football match for a serious misdemeanour, then there is going to be a heavy penalty to pay. And that message has to be driven home. You have to educate people. This is how you conduct yourself at a game. If you're guilty of A, B, C, D or E, get ready. Here's the heavy penalty. You know what's coming.
Yeah, I agree with you. Don't allow them back, pure and simple, and punish them for their misdemeanour. I think you look, as I say, we only have to look back to the weekend. Manchester derby, you're not telling me that those fans aren't as strong about their teams as Rangers and Celtic, and the rivalry it's there. Man City coming back to dominate the Premiership just now after Man United in the 90s. The atmosphere's still there, the feeling, the love for their clubs, the rivalry. There'd be trouble there as well, there'd be idiots there, but you deal with it, and there was a fantastic spectacle at the Etihad at the weekend. Man City dominated the first 45, and you're thinking they're going to go and win the title, and their rivals snatched it away, albeit they're going to win it next week or the week after. But we're denying ourselves in our Scottish game of that, if we bow, as you say, to these idiots.
Yeah, absolutely. You can give us your thoughts on it. Just before we talk about Aberdeen against Motherwell in the other semi-final, got to give a mention to Davy Russell, who is saying thanks for keeping us updated in Alabama day after day. He still thinks Bayern will win it, and he says Celtic need to kick up a gear if they want to win. And Gary Kilpatrick says, so sad, John Lambie, great manager, old school, rest in peace. A view echoed and shared by our yourselves. So thanks for those messages as well. Alabama, no less, Ruffy. I wonder if it's hot. I mean, it's not exactly splitting the trees here. Alabama will be hot possibly at this time.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it'll be sitting out in his poolside with a wee beer, you know, possibly a barbecue. But
Magic. Isn't it great that that Ruffy automatically thinks Davy Russell is loaded with a swimming pool and he's got a big job? You can live in Alabama and Davy could be living in a caravan right now. We don't know. We don't know his circumstances. But Davy, if you are outside in a swimming pool, tell us. We're there for you. We're coming out. We need to know. We need to know. 60. Davy, fantastic. 65 degrees. No pool, beer. Davy, it doesn't get any better than that, isn't it, Ruffy? See, Davy's get beers. That's enough for us, Davy. We're going to be out to Alabama. We don't care. We just want to get out there and talk football with you. Great to know that you're watching us there regularly on our Facebook Live. Just before we finish, Aberdeen against Motherwell. Derek McInnes has mentioned that they're going to be without Shea Logan, no Kenny McLean, no Graham Shinney as well. Is that a fatal blow for them against Motherwell?
Don't think it's a fatal blow, but I think it's you know, 3 of the players that would probably be in their starting 11, so he's going to have to tweak things, I think, from midfield to front. Aberdeen, out with the game at Tynecastle at the weekend, have showed that they've got guys that can score goals, and I think that will determine the result. I think they'll nick it 2-1.
Yeah. Okay, Ruffy, how do you see this one? We'll talk about Motherwell in greater depth tomorrow when we hear from their manager, but Derek McInnes, basically saying, this is a chance to get to another cup final. We've got to get on and use the players that we have at our disposal. We'd love to have those 3 players. They're not involved. Do they have enough in their arsenal to defeat Motherwell?
yeah, well, before Saturday's game, you would have said, they're on good form, but that was a terrible performance at the weekend. You look at that performance and you take these 3 players out. I'm sure if you're in the Motherwell set up, you're saying, well, we've got a right chance here, because these are 3 massive players for Aberdeen. And I'm sure Derek McInnes would have liked to have had a positive result of the weekend. So I think Derek, if he's honest, will be a wee bit anxious about this game.
Yeah, prediction then?
I'm going to go 2-1 Aberdeen.
So not really anxious after all.
Well, he'll be anxious. Doesn't matter whether I'm anxious or not. I'm going 2-1.
Right, 2-1 to Aberdeen. I think Aberdeen will win as well. You can give us your view at PLZ Soccer on Twitter, facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. You can download the app as well in the App Store, and you get all the updates as well. Good competitions coming up over the summer months. Look out for that. You can get into Google Play and you can get the app as well, PLZ Soccer. Thanks to Ruffy, thanks to Simon Donnelly, thanks to you for watching. We're off to Alabama. It's going to take a couple of flights to get there. Tomorrow we'll do the Facebook Live, basically with beers, nae pool. It's as simple as that. It's the best way to sum it up from one of the guys who's watching is Davy Russell. Thanks for watching, everyone.